Happy New Year to everyone, and as we look back on the last year of Clash of Clans, there were a lot of controversial changes and updates added into the game. Some of them were really great additions, and then there were some not so great ones. Here, I'm going to go over my very honest opinion on how the year of 2017 went for Clash of Clans. First off, I just want to emphasize that this entire video is biased towards my opinions, and that you may have different thoughts or opinions on these topics, and if you do, I'd love to hear what you have to say, so let me know down in the comments below which parts you agree with, what parts you disagree with, and I'll be reading through every single one of the comments and responding to most of them, so go ahead and let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, if it comes across that I am being kind of bashing Clash of Clans or anything like that, it's not because I hate the game and want to see it fail, because it is actually quite the opposite. I love playing the game a ton and would love to see it grow as big as it once was, and in my personal opinion, some of the changes just don't quite help them achieve that. So anyways, let's get into what happened in 2017. The first major update of the year 2017 was the builder base. And this was about halfway through the year in the summer, and there was a lot of hype surrounding this update, and I think that there were some really good intentions into implementing it, where the developers really wanted to add everything that the community had been requesting for a very long time, such as the gem mine and all of that, without actually affecting the regular base. So the update was very successful at first in bringing back the old players who had quit the game, and it was a lot of fun building a new base with all new troops and defenses. And it was also a lot of fun competing against other clashes from around the world, since everyone started off at close to the exact same time. So that was all fun and great for the first few months, but people gradually started to lose interest in the builder base. I personally stopped playing it as much because I didn't feel any connection to it. It felt like I was playing two separate games but just in the same app, and unlike my main base, I didn't really care if I had my builder doing nothing, if I was losing battles, or if I collected my resources when they were full. I've had the builder base for less than 6 months, whereas I feel I'm much more invested in my main base considering I've spent almost 5 years building it up. And I feel like a lot of Clashers feel the same way, where they'd rather invest their time in their main village that they've spent more time on, and also have more incentives to upgrade and progress for reasons such as like war, donating new troops, and then also the new addition of clan games, whereas with builder base it's really just for fun and it's just a time killer. So personally, I feel like the builder base did its job at first by bringing players back to the game and giving players a new game mode and features that they were asking for a long time, as well as a bunch of things that players, like I said, have been asking for forever, like versus mode and then the gem mine and even a new hero. But the hype and interest surrounding the builder base has since gone down significantly and is now just a boat that sits on our beach and tempts us to click it. And this isn't to say that people don't play builder base still, because I know a lot of people that still do and play it, have a ton of fun doing it, and who have actually quit their main villages to play the builder base. But I personally feel the opposite, whereas I've pretty much quit my builder base and only focus on my main village. So where was I here? But yeah, so in my opinion, people are spending less and less time playing the builder base, and sometimes even quitting it completely. And just as a side note, I really think that a great way to incorporate the two villages together more smoothly would be to allow us to gear up as many cannons and archer towers as we want. So right now, as it is, we can only gear up one cannon and one archer tower, where it basically reduces its range but then does way more damage. And I think it would be really cool if we could do that for every single one if we wanted to. It would connect the two villages a lot more by giving us a worthwhile change on our main village, but it also wouldn't be too unbalanced, since right now attacking power is way more powerful than defensive power, and as well by gearing up the defenses, it comes with a reduced range as I just mentioned, so it has perks for more damage, but it also has a reduced range. So in my opinion, it would be actually fairly balanced, but that's just my 2 cents. And then also, it's totally up to you how you use it. There would be a huge variation in base changes and base designs, so I think that could be a really cool addition into the game, and it doesn't really involve too much work. The next major event was on the 5th anniversary events, and then the missing builder commercials and stuff like that. So that was all fun and all, but it didn't really have any real impact on the game, which is understandable since it's not supposed to be a major update or game-changing stuff like that. It was just a way of celebrating Clash of Clans' 5th birthday. And on YouTube, I got to admit that I absolutely loved it because that topic was trending and I was able to milk the heck out of that event. So that was all good for me, but as a player, there wasn't any lasting changes to the game that came out of that. But nonetheless, I still enjoyed using the shrink trap and then the giant in the builder hut. I think those mini events like that are really fun for the players who play Clash of Clans quite frequently, maybe like every day or every like a few times a week. It's a really nice addition and a bit of a reward for those players. The other addition that came was the removal of the Inferno Tower's heal spell negation effect. So before the update, the Inferno Towers, when locked onto troops, would make it so that they couldn't be healed by healers or heal spells. Then, when the balance changes were made, they were made in an attempt to make gaining 3 stars at Town Hall 10 and higher, so Town Hall 10, Town Hall 11, a lot easier. So I personally am in favor of this in removing the heal spell effect, because it kind of made hogs and heal spells basically useless at Town Hall 10 and higher, so all those troops that you spent time maxing out basically became useless after a certain point. So I'm glad that we can actually use those troops once again in war and just regular attacks. And then I also like that Supercell is trying to make it easier to 3-star Town Hall 10s and Town Hall 11s, because getting 3 stars are always more exciting than getting 2 stars, and I imagine that the only people that don't really like this change as much are the CWL and competitive players. And then I also like how Supercell is trying to push players to upgrade their Town Halls, as I think that'll make the game better for everyone, and possibly, fingers crossed, even solve the Legends League clouding. And then one of the other additions that came with that balance change was the clan games. So the clan games are a ton of fun to play, but it's not one of those updates that's going to bring players back to Clash of Clans and increase the player size pool or the player base inside of Clash of Clans. It's just something that is a nice addition for the players that are playing already. It's not quite as good as Clan Wars, since that is like basically a whole new game mode. This is sort of just, you play the same stuff you always do, just basically attacking regularly and then using maybe certain troops or going after trying to destroy certain defenses, and then in return you just get rewarded. So basically the way I see it is you basically just do a bunch of extra attacks or rewards, or sorry, you just do a bunch of extra attacks using certain troops, and then you get rewarded with loot or these new spell books. It's not really a game-changing thing, it's just nice for the players who already play the game quite frequently. So in my opinion, the update, it wasn't really hyped up to be a huge thing, and then Supercell did end up giving us some stuff that we did want with like these spell books and allowing us to instantly upgrade heroes and stuff like that, but those do come very rarely, and then I believe they're selling them in the shop right now for me for like 20 bucks, and I can get 1 free hero instant upgrade. I personally don't like, I feel like that's a huge ripoff, and this whole thing was kind of a way for Supercell to basically say, we gave you your heroes in war possibility, but making it very difficult to actually get. And then also the clan games is only like a temporary thing, or not really temporary, but it's not permanent in the game, since they only come and go like every week or every month, or I'm not really sure how often it is since we've only had 2, and as of right now we don't actually have clan games. But I did enjoy it, as it did help, it was sort of like the crown chest or the clan chest for Clash Royale, so I did enjoy that. It gave me more motivation to actually attack. But the really stupid thing about all that is up in Legends League, just finding a base to attack is incredibly difficult, so completing the challenges, especially in like an hour time slot, became extremely frustrating and difficult for me to do. I know most players aren't actually in Legends League, so it doesn't really affect most people, but I really do think that clouding issue is a major issue in the game, and I know Supercell did say that they are focusing on that in the month of January and up to the next update, but I really do hope that is something they are going to look into a lot more and hopefully find a fix for it soon. I personally think that a versus mode would be a great fix for that. It would solve all the clouding issues, and then it would also make the leaderboard system a lot more skill based rather than just who has the most free time on their hands. But that isn't really about 2017, that is in the future of what I want. And overall, 2017, it wasn't a great year for updates. They did try and implement a lot of new stuff, especially the builder base. I have to keep going back to that because it was a major update. It just wasn't received as well as they probably hoped. They did end up giving us everything we did want, but it was almost for like a whole different game mode or an entirely different game that doesn't really affect our main village. I will say I do appreciate the gem mine though. You basically get like 1,000 gems every year for free from that, so I do appreciate that. But overall, I don't think there are any major lasting changes added into Clash of Clans that are game breaking like Clan Wars or anything like that. I do have high hopes for 2018 though. I think Clash of Clans is going to start taking some big steps into kind of bringing back the player pool, and then also expanding Clash of Clans into some new possibilities, maybe doing some more stuff with Clan Wars. We'll have to wait and see for that. I really do hope they had versus mode into Legends League, because as it is right now, I'm almost a max Town Hall 11, and the only thing I can really do is push trophies, but if I have to wait hours on end in the clouds, then the motivation to do that is just not very high. But anyways, I tried to make this video fairly quickly. It was a last minute idea, so I do hope you guys did enjoy it, and I hope everything wasn't too messy or hard to follow along. But thank you guys all so much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure you drop a thumbs up, as it does help this video get out there and be seen by other people, and I would appreciate that. And anyways, more videos to come in the new year. For me right now, it is 7 p.m. at the time of recording this, so it isn't actually New Year's for me. But this is probably going to be my last video before the New Year's. I'm looking forward to see what 2018 holds for me. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Peace.